Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Call of the Night Season 2 episode number 5 reaction. The previous episode was a really good episode. We got to know more about Kabura's past and a certain individual, Haru, who looks exactly like Nazuna, but it's pretty obvious that is not Nazuna, So it's either like her sister or her mother, something like that might be the case. And after there's a lot of things that we saw in the previous episode which kind of hinted at Nazuna and Kabura's connection. One of them was where Nazuna was kind of like talking to Kabura as if she knew her previously. So did Kabura, and Nazuna didn't even realize that. So it made me think it's probably like her mother or sister, and after maybe something happened to them, uh, Kabura was like someone who took care of Nazuna or something like that, like her caretaker or something. Because she loved Haru, so like anyone who's connected to Haru, she also loved them as well and took care of them. Nazuna was probably a kid back then or whatever, so she took care of her as a guardian, maybe, who knows. So yeah, something like that might be the case. So let's see what happens in today's episode. I'm guessing we'll probably get, maybe we'll get some of our answers that were hinted in the previous episode, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're continuing. Bruh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's funny. They won't be. Oh, there you go. Oh. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Right. Hmm. Right. So, can you tell me who Haru is? Yeah, there you go. That's what she remembers. Who is Haru? Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so she was like her caretaker, her guardian after whatever happened to Haru. So she's either Haru's daughter or um, sister. Either of those two. Oh. Oh, mother. She's pregnant. Hmm. Right, here we go. Here we go. There you go. Hey, yo! Okay, so she's mother. She's Nazuna's mother. Oh! So does this human know that? Yeah, what? Yeah, there you go. Another spouting of the beer. There you go. Hmm. Oh God, this sound is just so. Oh boy. Okay, so what happened to her? Otherwise, why would she write this letter? So she was a vampire from the beginning, Nazuna? Wait a minute. So she's like a half or something. Like she's a half, but I didn't have enough time. So whoa. Oh, that's why she woke up later in that room. That was the first time she woke up. Okay, so who was the father? We don't know that up till now. I guess we'll never know, or maybe they'll reveal it later. She'll be shocked when she sees that she's a splitting image of Haru. Yeah, seeing her, she'll never be able to because she's a splitting image of Haru. Oh, there you go. Wait, so she was like, oh no, is this the first time she woke up? I guess. Yeah. Wait, so does Nazuna not remember this? Yep, there you go. Right, I wasn't expecting that. So she was a vampire from the beginning. I guess not. She just woke up. So she doesn't have her memories from back then? Yeah. Oh, then that probably is not what happened. So she turned into a full vampire later? 14. Oh, right. Hmm. So it's like infantile amnesia. Wait, so she. Wait, wait, so she. How was she born then? She was. Oh, I guess she was asleep, so she never got the. Okay, okay. Right. Yeah, her mother said she was asleep. So maybe. Damn. Okay, wait, so. There's still a lot of questions, like her connection with Anko. Hmm. Wow. I was wondering, how does she use the blood pack? Like, wouldn't the hospital notice? Right. Hmm. Yeah, otherwise, why would she ask Ko about how is she in the first time she met him? Yeah, he like a mother. Yep. Oh no. Mm. Yeah, she's forgotten. That's why she was saying it's not pure. Mm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And she remembers that deep down. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so she's not a full vampire. Oh, wait, just a minute. I'm thinking. No, wait, I'll talk about this later. Oh my god, this she's already here. Uh, uh. Okay, why the hell is this hospital abandoned? Nobody's in this hospital. Why? Even if it's night, there's no patients, nothing. Oh, because of her hair. She wanted to tie up her hair. That's what she used to do. Bruh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, makes sense. He was connected to her past. But the picture. Oh, I see. So that's why it doesn't work. Yeah. She might recognize her because Nazan's definitely had some connection with her, right? Oh, never mind. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, the whole Anko mystery is still ongoing. I guess we'll get to know about it later. Yeah. Like, hmm. Oh no. Wait, is that Anko in the hospital? Oh no. Yeah, it is Anko. Oh, she came here to get hands on the. Kohaku. What? Who? Okay, I'll need to read that part. Oh. Hmm. Okay, is that it? Right. And there you go. That was today's episode. Okay, so we get our answers in today's episode. Who was Haru? Haru was mm, Nazana's mother. And yeah, I was more leaning towards that she was her sister, but yeah, like she was actually her mother. And yeah, it makes sense. In the previous episode, I said it's either mother or the sister. Turns out it's the mother. Now, one thing, like, I guess I should have realized that she's her mother if I thought about it in the previous episode. I didn't, which is, Nazuna's origins. If you think about Nazuna's origins, Haru being Nazuna's mother would make more sense. And because if she's the mother, then Nazuna would be her daughter, and that's why a lot of things would kind of make sense. Why like she doesn't have a lot of her memories at all. Unlike the other vampires, as she said this herself. That it's a bit weird how I have like no memories, like nothing. Unlike other people who do remember, it's hazy in their head, but do kind of understand or remember, or at least recalls the past. That's it. Unlike her, so and it makes sense now. Why? Because she was literally a kid, like in that sense. If you think about it, I'm pretty sure everyone like can think about their memories up until a certain point. Like for example, I do remember a lot of things when I was a kid, like small little things which had made like big impressions in my memory when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I do remember those, very vaguely. But those are the only ones. I don't remember anything other than that. And then before that, even before that, obviously, when I was like 2, 3 years old, 1 year old, obviously nobody remembers anything. That was Nazuna. When she woke up, that was that part of her. So her connection with Kabura completely went out of her head. She doesn't remember at all because she was like 1 year old at that time, if in that sense. Now, my question here is, I'm assuming, like, since Haru said that she hasn't woken up in the letter, so that means Haru never saw her, woken up. She never saw her, like, being awake. And something happened to Haru. She probably died or something, or maybe not. You know what? There hasn't been any type of revelation that her mother is dead. Yeah, if you think about it, like they haven't like explicitly mentioned that, or in the letter, nothing of that sort was written. It was like, I might not be here. Now, I might not be here can mean a lot of things. Not necessarily I'll be dead. It can mean a lot of things. So you know what? Let me just keep that at the corner of my head. I'll be like, yeah, till for now at least, it hasn't been like 100% confirmed is Haru's dead. So who knows? Maybe in the future we'll see her or something. I don't know if she's alive. Because yeah, it is difficult to kill a vampire. Like, so yeah, there's a possibility she's not dead. Anyways, whatever happened, if she died, if she went away somewhere, if she had to like leave this place, whatever that had happened, at least up until she was here, she never saw Nazuna awake. So that's why she wrote like she's like she's still asleep or something like that. She wrote. So when Nazuna woke up, that was that first time. When she was like 20 years old or something, physical appearance wise, that's what she seems like, right? Like maybe like closer to Cole's age. That was that. So if you think about it, I'm assuming this is what happened. She was born. Obviously, she was born as a little baby. I'm assuming, because obviously she cannot be born like this, right? Like that seems kind of impossible. And she started growing like a normal human being, but she was asleep. Since she was asleep, she never woke up. So she kept growing up until where Kabura came and saw her. And after she woke up, I'm guessing her aging stopped. Because she looks exactly the same as she looked back then and now. That's what I'm trying to make sense of. Because obviously she cannot be born. It is impossible to her be born like this, right? In this age, at like this big, how the hell? It makes no sense. In no way can we be born like that. And where like Haru herself confirmed that I have a child in my belly, so she cannot be born like this, right? Surely she was a baby. So as a baby, she was born as a baby. She probably grew like a normal human would grow. But the fact that her age is still the same as when Kabura saw her, which was like, I'm guessing like 20 years ago or something like that. Or maybe, like, I don't know, like maybe like not 20 years ago. I don't know exactly when Kabura saw her wake up. Wherever it was, yeah, it was like 20 years ago, right? Because I think like Nazuna herself confirmed it. She said like, after waking up, I have been living my life here for like 20 years or something like that. So, whatever time is, that the amount of time that she was growing as a normal human, as soon as she woke up, she got consciousness, her aging stopped, I'm assuming. So, yeah, I think. So the question here is, why? Like, why would that happen? Why was she growing and then she suddenly stopped growing when she woke up? Did she like, is it because that's when it was registered that she's a vampire? Also, is she even a full vampire? No, right? She's a half vampire. So, does that mean that. Uh, I don't know. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Now, I was thinking this. Is she considered a full vampire now, or is she still a half vampire? Like, and if she's a half vampire, will anything be different from a full vampire? Like how we see, like, vampires like Kabura, the other vampires that we have seen, their age has stopped. They do not grow old. They've been living for a long amount of time. They when they bite someone and that person falls in love with them, that person becomes an offspring. All of these rules and regulations and the way like the mechanisms work in vampires, do they all apply to her as well? I'm assuming they should, right? Because if you think about it, like, all the humans who become vampires, they were also humans once, right? And like, and then falling in love, that whole thing happens, and they become a vampire. So most of the vampires, like all of the vampires, except a few exceptions, as we saw, Nazuna is one of the exceptions. There's a certain amount of time they're humans, and then they become a vampire. So like human and vampire, they like it doesn't matter. So what I'm thinking here is, if Nazuna is still like a half vampire, and if that means something different, like, I'm assuming a time will come when Ko will become a vampire, because he, or like that was what I was saying. Will the rules and regulations still be the same for Ko? Because technically Nazuna is a half vampire. Anyways, I don't know. Like these are like a lot of questions that I'm having. But there's another thing I was thinking. If Nazuna is still still, obviously she still is a half vampire, is there a possibility she can become a full vampire later? Because like I said, it's not that it's based on your bloodline or anything. Like, oh, half vampires mean half vampire, they can never become a full vampire, because vampires are born are from humans. Humans become vampires. So can not a half vampire become a full vampire in the future? And if that is possible, I do wonder if that's ever going to happen. And if that happens, I do wonder if it'll be Ko who turns her into a vampire. Because just think about it. What is the rule to become, not rule, but what is the mechanism for you to become a vampire? Someone who bites you, that vampire, who bites you, in a year span after that, in a year amount of time, if you fall in love with that person, you'll become a vampire, right? So I'm sure Ko will eventually become a vampire. Don't know exactly when, but I'm sure it'll happen. And after Ko becomes a vampire, this is what I'm thinking. If Nazuna consumes, if Ko consumes Nazuna's blood, and Nazuna, I'm guessing by that time Nazuna will like Ko, would have already fallen in love with Ko. Will she turn from a half vampire to a full vampire? I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how these works, how the mechanism works. I have no idea. Like, because up until now we've gotten used to like the vampires over here and how the rules and regulations, how the mechanisms works in their world. And now suddenly, after the revelation that Nazuna is a half vampire, there's a lot of questions that I'm having in my head, which might or might not be the case. And this is one of those things. I'm thinking like, yeah, she's a half vampire. She's not a full vampire. So if Ko in the future becomes a full vampire and then Ko takes her blood and Nazuna loves Ko, from a half vampire, will she turn into a full vampire? Is that how it works? Like, or will that how it work out? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. But you know what? Let's wait and see. Because first, like, this is like an exceptional case. Like, Nazuna's like a vampire when has been a vampire from when she's born. You know. Right. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I guess they never really, throughout today's episode, they never really mentioned that she is a half vampire. They've been calling her a vampire, right? So maybe she was like already a full vampire from when she was born, even though, like her father was a human. So, you know what? Let's wait and see, because I feel like there's no point in trying to deduce this at this point, because there's a lot of things that haven't been addressed for us to at least come to a conclusion about this situation. As we just got to know that Nazuna is a half, like has a human father and a vampire mother. So I guess we'll have to wait and see like how this goes, and maybe we'll get more information. And they haven't still revealed anything about Nazuna's mother. Sorry, not mother, father. So who knows? Maybe if that will come into play in the future. Nobody knows why Nazuna. What happened to Nazuna's mother? Did Haru die? Did she leave this place? Is she even alive? And nobody knows. I don't think they made that clear at all. So that's another thing. So yeah. Also, Anko's past is also something that has some kind of connection with Nazuna, I'm assuming. So I guess we'll have to wait and think about, see what happens with that as well. So right. Okay. Yeah, and there you go. That was what happened in today's episode. A lot of things make sense, but at the same time, it also brings in a lot of new questions. So, yeah, let's wait and see. Now, okay, so after this revelation, as Cole said, there's a few things that are kind of good in this situation. Number one, since she has never been human, she doesn't have any type of thing in her past that can be used as a weakness, because she's always been a vampire. So, there's none of that thing. That's a good thing. Also, Ko is relieved at the fact that Nazuna was already a vampire, because like that means she hasn't really had anyone that she loved or something. Right. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of crazy if you think about it, that how this whole vampire and offspring situation is just a cycle of unrequited love. Like, just think about it. Just think about it. Like, unless someone changes their mind later on after, like, for example, like, there's this vampire who turns someone else into a vampire. So that means this human being who this person turned into a vampire has fallen in love with this vampire. But you have to think about it. If you think about it, turns out this vampire also probably had someone that they loved. So it's like a whole chain of unrequited feelings. And yeah, in midways things might change. Some vampire might think, you know what, yeah, it's been enough long amount of time, like my love is unrequited, let me move on. If some vampire thinks about it like that, then that's fine, then that's different. Like they move on from their previous love and maybe embraces like a new love or something, then that becomes requited. That makes sense. If that doesn't happen, it's just a whole ass chain of like no end. It just keeps going. Like this person likes this person, so this person became a vampire, and this person who became a vampire likes this person, but this person likes this person. So it's just a chain of nothing. Like no proper end. But yeah, it's kind of crazy if you think about it like that. So Ko was like, oh my god, thank god there won't be any rivals in the future that I'll have to deal with. Oh my god. But you know what? That's it's kind of interesting because what Nazuna said here is very intriguing if you think about it. Nazuna said that, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to read this part. Okay. Kokun, are you glad it turned out I've always been a vampire? Men are such stupid creatures. When it comes down to it, you want your women to be pure and untouched by anyone else. Okay, and then after this, she says something very interesting. That's creepy. Okay, not that. After that, wait. Okay, look, your personality is shaped by your past, right? So if you ever fall in love, it's built on the past experiences. That is such an interesting way of thinking about it. I never thought about it like that. She is right. Like if you like a person in front of you, that means you like that current person to the entirety, right? Their personality, everything, you know, how they are, and all that. But that person is like this because of that person's past experience. So whatever this person had in their past, with previous love, an ex or whatever, that is part of what makes them them. And you fell in love with that person. you know so yeah, she's right. She's actually right. That's actually such a valid point. Now that I think about it. Right. Okay. And yeah, anyways, so as Nazuna said that your past shapes you as a person. This is also something that Kyo brings up later on, and he's like, since you said that, I think whatever happened to Anko, the reason why she hates vampires, probably something because of her past. Maybe something made her hate vampires. Now, this is what I was trying to decipher, because I don't know. Like in the opening, it seems like she and Anko were Anko and Nazuna were like talking and laughing and everything. So I'm guessing they probably had a good relationship. But then we also have that scene, I remember, in one of the episodes where they showed, I think, Anko sitting down, and then there was someone on the ground. Who knows? Maybe like her father or something. I don't know. Who was on the ground and who was like disappearing. So it seemed like he was a vampire. He turned into a vampire, and Anko was just there sitting with a lighter. That scene. So from that scene, and from another scene after that, like if you put two and two together, I think like I came to a certain conclusion. There's another scene later on where we see Anko saying that she wants to get, what was the name of that girl? The girl that Mahiru, is that his name? Ko's friend, the girl that he likes, Kikyo, I forgot her name. Anko said that vampire, I will be the one to destroy them. I will not let anyone else do anything to that. I will be the one who. So from that grudge, it seems like that vampire probably did something, and from that vampire's past records, if you see, okay, you know what? Let me go and see what the name was, because I think at the ending part of today's episode, she had a notebook where all the names were written. Kiku, that's her name. Okay, so Kiku, from Kiku's past experiences, from what we have heard about her, like, oh, she has like 50 offsprings or something like that. So she willy-nilly goes around and turns people into their offsprings. And this is also something that I thought, and I kind of speculated. The reason why she does that is because she probably wants to get like the best taste of the blood. And for that to happen, the person has to fall in love with you, has to have positive emotions for you. So she strings around people like this, makes them fall in love with her, and then consumes their blood just for that taste, or that that taste of the blood or something. But obviously, if this person likes you, that person becomes your offspring. But she couldn't care less about that. She got what she wanted. It's something like that. I kind of speculated. I might be wrong though. But whatever it is true that she has like 50 or so many offsprings. From that, I thought that maybe this one of these 50 people, maybe like one of them was Anko's, that person in front of Anko, And that is why Anko hates vampires and she wants to destroy vampires because of this. Because maybe Kiku turned one of her close ones, into a vampire, and this happened. Now, that is what I thought. I might be wrong though. And, so yeah, if that's the case, then a lot of things will fall into place. But, let's wait and see. Something else might be going on. Who knows? But yeah, whatever it is, it was a bad experience with vampires, so that's why she hates vampires and all that. And that's what Ko was saying. Now, in today's episode, at the ending, we see a notebook. In this notebook, it's written a few names. First name is Kiku Hoshimi. We all know that name. She has circled it. Then we have Kikyo. I don't know who that is. Kikyo, who's that? No. Then we have Honda, and it's cut out. Wait, who's Honda? Who's Honda? Wait a minute. That name seems familiar. Oh no. That's Kawara's last name. Wait, did she do something to her? Why is it cut out? This Kawara's last name, right? Honda? Wait. Yeah, Kawura Honda. Why is it cut out? It's like scratched out. You see in the notebook? What I'm thinking is, did she do something before that? Because in the final scene, we see she's in the hospital and she kicks open the door. Oh my god, this is not good. It's like she has done something to her. And that's why it's like cut out. Oh my god, what the hell? Wait a minute. Okay, let me read the other names. Kohakobe, LG, Suzushiro. I have no idea who these people are. These are all other vampires, I'm assuming. Okay, they zoomed in on Kohakobe, and that is like, there's like an arrow, and then there's LG. You know what? Let me bring out the character sheet. Are these like last names of the vampires that we've already seen? Wait a minute. Because I didn't remember Kabura's last name. That's why I was like, who's Honda? So that's why, let me bring out the character sheet. Okay, let me go back again a little bit. Just a minute. So wait a minute. Kiku Hoshimi, obviously she still hasn't been taken out. Kikyo. Who's Kikyo? Is there anyone named Kikyo in the characters that we know? Oh, Kikyo's that girl. The blonde haired girl. Kikyo Seri. That's her name. Okay. So that's Kikyo. Then Honda scratched out. I don't know why. It's just like, what I'm thinking is, if this was already scratched out from before, or did this scratch out later? If it's later, then she did something to Honda after coming and opening this door. Then we have Kohakobe. Is there anyone called Kohakobe in the list of characters that we know? Oh, Midori. Kohakobe Midori. That's her name. That girl. The girl who has only like one offspring or something. I don't know. Then we have LG. Who the hell is LG? LG? I don't see anyone called LG in the character sheet. And then we have Suzushiro. Who's Suzushiro? Oh, Hatsuka is Suzushiro. But Kohakobe has a little arrow, and it's called and it's like pointing towards LG. So I do wonder what that means. But yeah, every single character in this list is like the characters that we know. Like I couldn't recognize them because I forgot their like their last name. Um, yeah. But anyways, all of these characters are characters that we know. I'm just concerned about the fact that Honda's name is scratched out. Maybe. Oh, you know what? It could be one thing. It could be that she thinks that Honda's dead or something. Because Honda is. Feel like Honda's pretty, like, like she like keeps herself very like discreet and everything. Who knows? Maybe that's why. Maybe she has no idea that Honda's still here. I don't know. You know what? Let's wait and see because yeah, I have no idea. What I'm thinking is that there's a possibility in this small amount of time. You see, when Honda was like there talking to Nazuna, and Nazuna was like talking about like her. Uh, then there was like a small little time. You see, like Nazuna was going along with Ko in the night sky, and what I'm thinking is in that little time, did Anko do something to her? That's what I'm thinking, and that's why it's scratched out. I don't know. You know what? Let's wait and see. And upcoming episodes will probably give us our answers. If we see Kabura there, then it's fine. If in the upcoming episodes we see Kabura just there, so then it will be okay. There'll be no problem. So that would mean Kabura's name scratched out. She already did it before for some whatever reason. Um. Okay. Right. And yeah. And there you go. That is the episode. Now, a few other things in today's episode we have to talk about here. First and foremost, obviously, like Nazuna, Haru's past, we get to see Kabura's past, and the fact that she was, she got in the hospital. She was recommended by Nazuna, and not Nazuna, sorry, Haru. And Haru also revealed that the director of this hospital is also a vampire. So that's interesting. Um, right. And then we had like that section. Then we had the whole section where, um, like they did the whole section with the blood part, where she gave her like blood packets, and she was like, "Oh, you have to start hunting on your own, this and that." Um, all that stuff. Then we got to know that she is not going to drink beer. Immediately, I was like, "Yep, she's pregnant, obviously." Because if that is the case, then everything will fall into place. Haru will be Nazuna's mother and all that. Yeah, and that's exactly how it played out. She also revealed she's going to get married, and all that. So yeah. Also, like I said, we don't know who the father is. So I do wonder if in the future they'll reveal who the father is, or this will always be like a mystery or whatnot. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, okay. After that, we had that letter which revealed that she's not going to be here, and she wants Kabura to take care of Nazuna. And Kabura was like, "Nope, I don't want to. I cannot. Like, I cannot do this. Like, I loved her so much, and yeah, in no way will I be able to do this." And I was like, yeah, it's not happening, because as soon as she goes there and opens the the door and sees Nazuna, she will immediately be shocked to see the resemblance. Literally the same face. They literally have the same face, like everything is the same. It's like she gave birth to a clone. That is how similar it is. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, in no way will she be able to do anything to someone who looks exactly like her. So she couldn't by the end of it. And right, and there you go. That's what happened over there. Um, okay. Okay, so yeah, I have to read the section where the letter comes into play. And so she wrote, "Dear Kabura-chan, I can apologize enough that I'm saying goodbye like this." Right. I actually have a favorite word. Yeah, so she never mentions anything. She says goodbye. So it can be anything. I like a lot of people is automatically going to assume that she died, but then nowhere in this episode it was said that she's dead. So there's a possibility in the future that it's revealed that she's actually not dead. But anyways, I actually have a favor to ask. I'm hoping you could check in on my kid from time to time. Um, she's a child of a vampire and a human. I have no idea how she'll develop from here. I know this is asking a lot from you. You're the only one I can rely on. Um, I don't know if she'll know how to suck blood, or will she eat human food instead. There you go. I don't have enough time to find out. Clearly, she's no ordinary human. However, she has never woken up. There you go. This is the part what I wanted to check. Kabara-chan, please. Okay, and all that. So yeah, so it is revealed in the letter that she didn't even know if she is going to be able to suck human blood, drink human blood, if it's going to work, or if she's going to eat human food. Yeah, so she never got that time. Like I said, nobody knows what time she was talking about. And like, is this like is this because she's dead, or is this because she's going somewhere, she had to leave this place for some reason? It might be anything, but whatever it is, she didn't have that time to see and whether their daughter is what type of a person is this, a vampire, or is she like a human being? Yeah, so that is what we saw. So here, after that, when Kabura goes to the room and sees Nazuna all awakened, this is the first time that means she woke up. And from here onwards, like I said, I'm assuming her aging stopped, but then why was she aging before that? She must have aged before that when she was asleep, and otherwise why would she look like this? She should forever be a baby, right? So something like that maybe. And then she woke up, she then couldn't talk and anything, and that point of time, since she was always asleep, her mental state was as a baby, like a 1-year-old baby. So Kabura had to like help her out with everything, like like just maybe like everything, did everything for her as a mother would, like talk to her, teach her everything. She did her hair, which is just one thing that Nazuna remembered very well. um, and that's why Nazuna doesn't remember most of the things. Like as Kabura said, told Cole, "Do you remember when you were 1 year old?" Obviously not, right? It's like that. But yeah, few things, like I said before, like few things are like that prominent in your head that you just remember that even if you were very small. One of those things was probably Kabura doing her hair, which she remembered, and she was like, "Oh, Kabura, do my hair." Automatically, unconsciously, she said that. And we saw that later on as well when she was doing her hair. Nazuna like looked at her and smiled, at which Kabura like hugged her. Right. Yeah, and there you go. That was the whole thing. Now, obviously, after this, you can see Kabura said that like this was all very much uh, difficult for me. It was torture. So just leave, don't come back. At which later on, Ko went and told her that I'm sure you're lying, because like if that was the case, you would never have asked me about Nazuna. It seemed like you're just someone like a mother to her, worrying about her, and all that stuff. Right. Anyways, yeah, and that was that. It's like a complicated situation, obviously, which is something that uh, Nazuna said later on to Ko, that can you imagine, like you love someone and that person don't even tell you, ends up getting married, has a kid, leaves this place and leaves their kid to you, and just go, and then you see the kid is a splitting image of her. That is crazy. That is insane. So it is a very complicated feeling, obviously. So yeah, but then still Nazuna was like, I'll still go and visit her, you know. There you go. So yeah, so it is a very complicated thing. Like in her, you can see like on the rooftop, she was saying like, Haru-san, did I do a good job? Like I looked after her, and like that kind of thing. Like she just whenever she thought that, oh, you know what, this is the like because at the beginning you can see she was like, oh, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to kill the baby. That's what she thought. But then she went there and she saw her. She couldn't. She always got reminded of Haru. And even if Haru wasn't here, looking at Nazuna reminded her constantly of her so much that she just was never able to, like, and she like developed a close bond with Nazuna herself, which is painful, obviously, but at the same time is not all painful. So that's why I'm saying it's a complicated feeling, I guess. you know right, because you can see later on, like you can see what happens. She was just later on when Nazuna comes in, she was like looking at her hair and she's like, come here, let me do your hair. And she was like putting her on her lap and like doing her hair and everything. So it's a it's a complicated feeling. Like she wants to do nothing with her because looking at her reminds her of Haru and it's painful. At the same time, she doesn't want to forget Haru as well. So she wants to, like, interact with Nazuna, who's a splitting image of Haru. So she doesn't want to interact with Nazuna and wants to interact with Nazuna at the same time. So what the hell, what the hell do you even call this? This is like a overly complicated feeling, and more hints as to, like, because if you think about it, and you might be like, oh no, maybe she has finally moved on from Haru or something. No, she hasn't, because even at the very ending scene of today's episode, we see there was a scene where she was smoking and she was like, what is this? I don't like it. This doesn't taste good. Why was she smoking? Because she's trying to remember Haru and get the feeling as to what she felt while smoking. That's why she was smoking, but she's like, I don't like it. But I'm pretty sure she's still probably going to smoke because it's her connection to Haru and all that. Like, all these things. The blood pack. Like, she's like, yeah, that's the same as well. Where's the part where she talks about the blood pack? I think it's in the later section, right? Just a minute. Okay, I cannot find that part. There was a section where she says something about how she used to get hold of the blood packs because, like, she used to, like, oh no, Haru was saying that she used to, like, take a little bit out of, like, patients while taking out the normal, like, blood samples. She used to just siphon out a little bit, and that's how she used to do it. So oh, another thing she mentioned is that whenever she goes into the room, because that is something that is connected to her past, she gets a headache. But she didn't get a headache when she looked at the picture, because the picture is something she developed after she became a vampire. That's memories after her vampirism. So that's why the picture is not really that much of a big deal to her. But everything else is like headache for her because they're memories of the past. But yeah, I cannot find that blood sample part where she talks about a few things. Anyways, like, that's how, like, and I was also kind of curious. I was like, how the hell does she get blood samples and just gives it to Kabura to drink it? Doesn't the hospital staff, like, notice that? So that also answered my question. So she just while taking the patient's blood, she siphons off a little bit. And that's how she, like, gets, like, her own stash of blood sample. And I'm guessing Kabura does the same as well. To because they need blood to for sustenance. Yeah, and there you go. That is what happened today. So, right, I guess that's the story. Hopefully nothing happened to Kabura, because that last scene is still very much bothering me. The fact that Anko's notebook has has Kabura's name like scratched out. So let's wait and see, because I guess we'll get to know what happened next episode, whether if anything happened, or was that already scratched out from the beginning, um, or did she scratch it out later after that scene? Because sometimes animes do this. They to make like a suspense filled like section at the end. They do like this type of things where they just do a very crazy thing in such a small amount of time, and they kind of hint at it. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they did something like that here at the end. But let's wait and see. Next episode we'll see if Kabura's okay or not, if we get to see her. Oh, here we go. I finally found this part, which I was trying to find. This is the part where Kabura was talking to Ko about, oh, you don't know anything about me, that part. So Kabura says, Harusan was my first love. Um, of course, that's what my human memories tell me. And I don't really remember. Yeah, the blood. And this is why she was saying, like, like the memories are not pure, because she doesn't remember. She remember it. She has to consume the blood from before. So it's like she doesn't remember it, but she drinks the blood and she remembers that, oh, this happened. It's like like you don't remember anything about your past, and then you like see like a notebook or like a videotape of your past of you doing something, and you realize that, oh, this was probably what I felt back then and this is what was going on, but in your head you don't remember any of it. So you are like, oh yeah, this is probably how I felt. You're thinking about it looking at a videotape of your past. It's like that. It's not like her memories. It's the blood's memories that she's consuming. She's thinking like, oh yeah, I must have loved Haru-san. That something like that. And just think about it. She is quite old if you think about it like that. Like I didn't know her exact age back in the previous episode. Based on whether Haru is Nazuna's sister or her mother would alter the age very much. The fact that Haru is Nazuna's mother makes her even older. So Nazuna currently, if Nazuna is 40, like human age wise, that would mean when um, when Kabura came in contact with Haru, she was an adult. I'm assuming she was like at least 25 years old at that point of time when Haru left everything to Kabura, and and she's not here anymore. 25, 26 maybe. She was working at a hospital, so I'm assuming at least she's that age. So 25. Let's think 25. So then she was 25, and from that point, 20 25 more years passed, because that was the time when Nazuna woke up. No, no. Sorry, wait, no, wrong. 25. If she was 25 at that time, when she was human, she became a vampire, and after that, Haru got pregnant. So yeah, that means 40 years after that. If that's what happened, then Nazuna was born, and then Nazuna has lived her life for like 40 or so years, looking at her now, because she's at least spent a little bit of time growing up to where she is now, and then I'm guessing her age stopped growing. She stopped growing and she became that age. So 20 years or 20 to 23 years after she woke up, Nazuna has been living. Before that, she was like also there for like 20 or so years, I'm assuming, because she looks like a 20-year-old person. So I'm assuming she has had to grow up to be like that. Or who knows if vampires grow quicker. I don't know. If half vampires grow quicker or something, I have no idea. So you know what? Let's take like a median number, like 30, for example. I'm assuming that after Haru, left Nazuna in this world, 30 years have passed, and before that, Kabura was like at least 25. So currently, Kabura is like 55 or 60 years old, something like that, I think. You know, so yeah, it is quite a bit. It is quite a bit amount of time that has gone past. So yeah. Okay. In any case, I'm probably a lost cause. I wanted to know why Harusan decided to drink my blood, to understand and become like her. That's why I fed on her blood. Yeah, she wants to understand her. That's why she was also smoking in the end. And she was like, this doesn't taste good. Yamurkun, do not end up like me. Yeah, build a good relationship with Nazuna. Yeah, she's like, do not just, like, trying to understand her. Do not, like, do it in the way that I did, because that was very much wrong. Because she never was honest about her feelings. She never was able to properly interact with Haru in that way. There's only one time that she kind of said that she liked her, but that too was in a roundabout way on that day on the rooftop, where Kabura was like crying, and when Haru was like, oh, like, um, who do you like, or something like that, she asked, and she said that you know it very well. Why are you asking me? So in a roundabout way, she said that, yeah, I liked you. She never really said that properly, if you think about it as well. So, she's like, don't be like that. Don't be like that. And don't end up being like me. Like, I'm a result of, like, of this whole thing going wrong. So don't do that wrong. Try to understand her better. Try to, like, make a proper relationship with her, unlike me, who was never able to do anything. Right. And now I'm just trying to remember the memories, and trying to emulate her, act like her, to try to feel how she felt back then in a roundabout way, and it's just pointless now. And that's why she's drinking her blood. She's drinking the blood. She's trying to smoke, and all that stuff she's doing. Right. And yeah, and there you go. That was today's episode. Another really good episode. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more mysteries gets revealed after this, because the Anko and Nazuna situation is very mysterious still. I'm guessing we'll get to know more later. And like I said, hopefully nothing happened to her, because that part at the end is bothering me with the scratched out name. Right. Anyways, I'll end this here. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to Call of the Night Season 2, Episode 5. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.